On to the next segment. Boom. We're gonna do 10 unpopular opinions. And I'm gonna give my opinion, which may or may not be unpopular. I don't know. I might be with them. I have no clue, bro. I have no clue. But anyways, the first one is most people don't actually want honest feedback. They want reassurance. I'm reading unpopular opinions, right? There's no way this is unpopular. This is all fact, not fiction. What I just read is all fact. What? Hold on, let me read that again. Most people don't actually want honest feedback. They want reassurance. That's 1,000% true. And I know because I dated someone who was like that. Bro, my ex, she got mad at me one time because she approached me with something, right? You know what? Do I get into details here? Do I get into specifics? All right, so boom. So she had a coworker, right? It was a guy. Dude had a crush on this girl at work, right? So he confides in her. He tells her, hey, I know you've been seeing me talk to such and such. I know you've been seeing me hanging out with such and such. I have a crush on her. That's why I'm over there so much, you know? And she goes, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Takes the information, right? Boom. So now she's talking to another coworker. She tells the other coworker, yo, such and such just told me, huh? And our theory, it was true. You feel me? And then, mind you, the other coworker that she told apparently got the big mouth, and he goes and tells everybody in the store. Now it's not just two people that know. Everyone knows. You feel me? And word gets back to dude that everyone knows. I'm talking about the kid that has a crush. Word gets back to him that everyone knows. You feel me? And now he gets mad at my ex because he's like, why would you tell anyone? I'm not telling you nothing. I'm not talking to you no more. And on top of that, because of the situation, the bag was fumbled. The girl he had a crush on, she did not want nothing to do with him no more. Because as a man, you know, when you're talking to girls, you're trying to rizz up a girl, whatever. It's not a good look to be running around spilling your business to everybody. Am I tweaking? I know I'm not tweaking. It's like if you smash, it doesn't make sense for you to go around telling everyone you smash. It's your business. Keep your business to yourself. You know? This was like one of those scenarios. Because now he's trying to rizz the girl up. He's trying to, you feel me, get in her good graces. And then all of a sudden, everyone in the store is talking about us now. I want nothing to do with you if I'm her. I want nothing to do with you. Right? So he gets mad at my ex. And then my ex is now upset about it. She comes to me about it. Hey, this is what happened. Da, 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 da. She tells me the whole story. I'm sitting there, and the first thing I say is, I'm not gonna lie, if I was him, I'd be mad at you too. Because you fumbled my bag. Like, the whole point she was trying to get across is, I didn't tell everyone. I just told him. He told everyone. And I was telling her, I'm not gonna lie, that doesn't matter. Because the root of the issue is you telling him. You knew prior he had a big mouth and you told him. And then she got mad at me afterwards. Because she's like, how are you my boyfriend? And I came and I told you such and such. And you're on his side. You're supposed to be on my side. And I'm like, but you didn't come to me for reassurance. You came to me and asked me for my opinion. So I decided to give you honest feedback, right? Apparently, they don't want the honest feedback, bro. They want reassurance. So this unpopular opinion, most people don't actually want feedback. They want reassurance, is facts. 1,000% true. It's not an unpopular opinion. It's just facts. Anyways, number 2. It says the customer is usually wrong. All right. Because you know the saying is the customer is always right. And they're saying the unpopular opinions that the customer is usually wrong. as someone who actually has experience working as a cashier before, I'm not gonna say that's true, because it's not true. The customer is not usually wrong, but there are definitely times where the customer is wrong, and those times be getting me mad too, because some people don't know how to live in their wrong. You feel me? Like, this one time, for example, this thing used to happen all the time when I was working at Sobeys. I was working at Sobeys in Toronto, downtown. I used to hate it. On Sunday at 6 p.m., after 6 p.m., you're no longer allowed to sell alcohol, right? Dudes would run in the store at 5:59, get a case of alcohol, and then run to the line and wait in the freaking line. And by the time they get to cash, it's past 6 p.m. So then now, these guys were already drinking, they're a little bit tipsy, and they're yelling at me now. They're like, yo, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I got here at 5 something. Just because the line was so long, it's not my fault. Just cash me out. Da 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 da. And I'd be like, yo, bro, it's against the law. I can't cash you out. I could try to scan it. You know what's gonna happen? A message is gonna pop up saying it's past 6 p.m. You cannot sell alcohol. It's against the law. They're literally not gonna let me sell it to you. And then the dude will start getting mad. Oh, call your manager. Call your manager. I call my manager. And you know what happens? My manager walks up. Hello, sir. What's the problem? Oh, he's not selling me the alcohol. Da, 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 da. He's not able to sell you the alcohol. It's past 6 p.m. But I was here at 5, so I was here at 5. But sir, next time you need to get here before 5:59, and then we can scan your beer properly before 6 p.m. It's after 6 p.m. It's against the law. We're not catching a charge because you want to show up to the store at the last second. And you're like 40 something. It's not like this is your first time coming here. I see you every Sunday. You are very aware of the 6 p.m. rule. But whatever. Yeah, back to the shit, bro. Customers usually wrong. I'm not gonna say yes, but I'm not gonna say no either. You feel me? Customer do be wrong sometimes. Let's leave it at that. All right, number 3. Summer is the worst season. I'm not gonna lie. This one of them ones because I actually don't fuck with, like, most of the time when summer is coming, I'm not the happiest guy in the world. Me personally, I'm a fall person, bro. I love fall. I like long sleeves. I like wearing long sleeves. I like being warm. I don't like being hot. You feel me? Like, when, mind you, this makes no sense, by the way. My archetype doesn't make sense because I was born in Florida. And Florida is hot as a bitch. But then I grew up in Toronto. I was raised in Toronto. So that's probably why I don't like the heat so much. You feel me? Because when I went to Florida to visit, if there wasn't an AC, I wasn't staying. I could tell you everywhere I went. At home, AC. To the car, AC. To the gym, AC. Back to the car, AC. If I'm in Walmart, if I'm in wherever, AC. You weren't catching me nowhere where there was no AC. If there's no AC, I wasn't there. I promise you. I'd even do my laundry. I asked somebody else to do my laundry when I was there because it was too hot. The laundry room had no AC. Bro. What was the thing? What was the unpopular opinion? Summer is the worst season? Facts. This is not an unpopular opinion. It's facts. The best season is autumn. The worst season is summer, bro. Pack summer up. If there's a place in this world where it's fall weather all year around, let me know. I'm moving there. I'm moving there ASAP. I promise you. Because summer weather sucks. I know there's some places where it's hot all year round. I'm Gucci. I want nothing to do with it. Like, humidity, stickiness, dry heat, I don't care. I want nothing to do with it. If it's hot, I want nothing to do with it, bro. That shit is ass. I'm sorry. Anyways, number 4. Not everyone needs to be in a relationship. Being single is often better. Now, the first half of that, like I've been saying all fucking video, apparently, That's not an unpopular opinion. That's facts. You spit nothing but facts. Not everyone needs to be in a relationship. Now, the second part, some people are better off being single. Now, that's a little bit debatable, okay? Because some people are not better off being single. But not everyone needs to be in a relationship is a fact. Is a fickety fact, bro. There's a lot of people that actually need to be out of a relationship because they need to learn how to, one, be comfortable with themselves. Learn how to be comfortable with yourself. Like, most of the time, if I'm not in a relationship, I'm trying my hardest to elevate. You feel me? I want to be better than I was yesterday. Like, I'm trying to learn new things. I'm trying to get on my grind. I'm trying to, you feel me? I'm trying to move different if I'm single. But that's just part of it. Even if you're not on your grind, even if you're not trying to elevate, just being able to be comfortable being by yourself is like something so many people need to learn, bro. Like codependency and stuff like that. It's like, and that's the crazy part. I used to low-key be kind of codependent, but now I need my space, bro. I need those. I need those. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not saying I need space all the time, but like where I'm at now, I'm already working 8 hours full time. You feel me? I get home, now I'm putting hours into myself. So it's like at that point, where are the hours gonna go to her? You know what I mean? Sometimes you just need to lock in on yourself and be comfortable with yourself, you know, and do what you gotta do. But like, a lot of people need to like learn how to be comfortable with themselves. No troll. No funny shit. Anyways, boom. On to the next one. Number 5. They said movie theaters are too loud and too expensive. Do I agree? How much was the... Nah, they're not too expensive. They are a bit loud though, I'm not gonna lie. They are a bit loud. But yo, if you're someone that has trouble like with the noise at the movie theater, bro, just get yourself some little noise canceling earbuds. Like there's definitely some stuff you can get if you're someone that's sensitive to sensory noises, your ears, your eyes, you know, you could wear sunglasses, you can get the earbuds. But is it too loud? Sometimes, yes, it is. Is it too expensive? I'm gonna say no, because of all the activities you can do in a city. Going to the movies is one of the cheapest, and they have the Tuesdays that make the price go even lower. But like me and my boy, we just went and watched the Chainsaw Man movie, the real D 3D effects version, and all the extra shit was like $17. Without the extra shit, it's like $13. If we went on a Tuesday, it would have been $8. Like, sounds affordable to me, bro. Sounds fine. I'm not gonna lie. All right, on to number 6. School teaches memorization, not intelligence. That's another fickety. I'm not gonna lie, that's another fact. I'm not gonna lie, these are... Yo, I asked for a list of unpopular opinions. So far, they've only given me straight facts. What is going on? Summer is ass. Yes. Summer is ass. School is only teaching you about memory. School is all memorization. That's fact. It's not intelligent. That is facts. I know, bro, I'm not gonna lie. One of the least intelligent people I've ever met apparently was on the dean's list every year since whatever grade high school starts up until college. Dean's list, dean's list, dean's list, dean's list. But when I tell you, like, it wasn't the ripest apple on the branch, you feel me? not the sharpest tool in the shed, you know? Not the brightest color on the rainbow, all of that, you feel me? But dean's list every year. That's crazy. But hey, that goes to show you, school teaches memorization, not intelligence, bro. Some of my best grades that I've actually got in school has come from me memorizing shit. Like, if I'm not attentive and I could go to the class and do well, I feel like those are the courses that actually take intelligence. Like, for example, I used to always have a good grade in English. I feel like that's a course that takes intelligence. Just like, you don't need to remember shit for English. You know, the final exam is like a written passage. It comes down to, you know, your vocabulary. It comes down to the way you speak. You know what I mean? But history class, even though I did love history at a point in time, is just remembering dates, remembering wars, remembering names, a bunch of stuff that don't mean shit to me personally. But now I'm being called dumb or smart based on how well I remember. Geography, same thing. Do you remember all the provinces? Bro, it used to be a shit every morning. Every morning we'd come to school, we'd have a fucking map of Canada and all the provinces. Can you name all the provinces? What are the provinces gonna do for me, gang? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, how is the naming the provinces gonna make me bread? It's just a memory game, bro. You gain nothing, bro. None of it. PEI? Nah, bro. Get me away from that. Like, Yellowknife? Anyways. Alright. On to number 7. Oh, this one's a bit interesting. Loyalty matters more than love in a relationship. Ooh. I don't know. Loyalty matters love. Because that's the thing. My last relationship was pretty decent. And the love wasn't even peak. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the love could have been better, but the relationship was fine. So it's not like love is mandatory or love needs to be maxed out on 99% for the relationship to work. But loyalty does need to be maxed out for what's the word I'm looking for? Fuck, I forgot the word. There's polyamorous and there's it's at the tip of my tongue, bro. Fuck, whatever. A relationship between two people, okay? A relationship between two people. Loyalty needs to be maxed out at 99% for a relationship between two individuals to work, okay? And that's that. So yeah, I guess loyalty is more important than love. Not saying love is not important, but loyalty is more important in relationships. So yeah. All right. So again, not an unpopular opinion, just straight facts. You do not need to forgive someone to move on. That's a toughie. That's actually a kind of tough one because technically speaking, like, to me, it sounds very easy to say I don't forgive this person and move on. But at the same time, anytime their name is brought up, anytime a memory is struck, anytime, you feel me, it's gonna trigger something in you, which means it's still taking up mental real estate. You know what I mean? For you to get triggered or something when a name is brought up, or if a similar action is done or whatever, then at that point, they're still affecting your life. So did you really move on? You know what I mean? Like, are you just saying you moved on, or did you really move on? Because I feel like with forgiveness also comes the peace that is lacking from not forgiving, you know? Because you can forgive, but you don't need to forget. You know what I mean? Like, you can forgive someone and then move on. And then, let's say their name comes up, or something they done that reminds you of something they done, or blah, blah, blah. now you're no longer being triggered by it. You know what I mean? Because you're at peace with whatever happened. You no longer have a problem with that person. You're just simply not allowing them within your space, you know? So, I think you do need to forgive someone to fully move on. I do think you do. Unpopular opinion, I think number 8 might be unpopular. Anyways, number 9, following your passion is unrealistic advice for most people. Yeah, I would say so. I say this is another fact, and this is the reason why. Some people's passion is not a career path. Some people's passion they're not gonna be able to make money with. You know, so for you to say that is already a bit unrealistic. And then on top of that, let's say you do say it to someone, just because you say it doesn't mean they're going to have the discipline needed, the mental fortitude, the aptitude to get it done. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the kids in school. Let's compare it to this. Kids in elementary school, right? They tell all the kids all the time, you can be whatever you want. You could do whatever you want, right? How many of those kids grow up to actually be and do whatever the fuck they want? I could tell you about people from my high school now. This nigga's in jail. That nigga's dead. This dude's crackhead. This dude, you feel me? And those are the same kids that they were telling us you can do whatever you want when you're a kid, you know? So, yeah, this is just facts. Following your passion is unrealistic advice for most people. It is a fact. It is definitely a fact, bro. Last one, last but not least, big number 10. And honestly, this is taking longer than I thought it was going to take. I thought this was going to be 20 minutes at most. This is actually pretty long. But anyways, these are actually some good unpopular opinions. That's probably why it's taking so long. Social media doesn't ruin relationships. Insecure people do. You know what? In some instances, I could see why you might say that. I could understand why you might say that. But I personally feel like social media is not to blame per se, but there's one more step before social media if you really think about it. If I'm in a relationship with someone and they go on social media and they're watching videos and this and that, and then they get influenced to the point where it ruins our relationship, that was just someone who was weak-minded. You know, like, they're lacking in values a bit. They don't have their own values, and they're easily flipped by someone else's opinion. You feel me? I could be on social media all day long, and just because someone said something, it's not gonna affect the way I think. You know? So if you're someone that's, or if this is like a thing now, if this is like a epidemic or something of social media ruining relationships because of all the shit going on now and all the male hate and all that other shit, that's just someone who is weak-minded. That's just someone who has a herd mentality and they just follow the crowd. You know what I mean? Not able to form their own opinion. Bro, deadass, I know people who would hear about something, watch a podcast, and now they got their opinion on it. You know what I mean? There's no self-research being done. There's no, you feel me? Hey, I heard this. This is my opinion. And I think that's crazy. But hey, it is what it is. So yeah, number 10, social media doesn't ruin relationships. Insecure people do. Insecure people do ruin relationships, yes, but also weak-minded, sheep herd mentality people ruin relationships too. It's both sides. It's not one, it's not the other, okay? Social media does have something to do with it, but I'm not putting the blame on social media. I'm putting the blame on the person who is so weak-willed to be controlled by social media. social media should not formulate your will. That's crazy, you know? Anyways, boom. All right, we're finally done. We're finally done. That was the 10 unpopular opinions. That took longer than I thought to get through. Boom.